Welcome back, guys. It's Graham from Greyhouse Visual. For those of you who are new to the channel, we are a wedding filmmaking company based out of Vancouver, BC. Husband and wife, pretty awesome. Wanted to give you guys a really honest review about a recorder that a lot of people are using. A lot of wedding filmmakers specifically use the Tascam DR10L lav mic. Works amazing. We've used it for years. We know a lot of people that have used it for years. And the new kind of player in town, new-ish, is the Zoom F2. They have a Bluetooth version where you can connect your phone to it, check levels and stuff, super handy. And then they have the non-Bluetooth version. I wanted to give you our thoughts on this after using it for a little while, the pros to it and the cons, as well as one giant flaw that we've discovered and we haven't found a fix. So the main obvious reason for buying the Zoom F2 is that it records 32-bit float audio. Super awesome. It's basically the equivalent of raw photo or video. It records all the data that it can capture. Allows you to do a whole lot of things, like you can have like a really low audio signal, boost it up, sounds beautiful, and it won't clip, which is amazing too. Not super scientific, but it sounds great. And beside the obvious reason for choosing it, the price we found is another factor. It's $240 Canadian, which is super cheap. It includes a microphone as well. Really good deal for one of the best, most highest quality recorders there is, as well as the size of it. It's a little bit smaller than the Tascam DR10L, height-wise and thickness-wise, which it's already really small, but just makes it that much more easy to hide. Another pro is the ease of use. It's so simple. You just flick it on, hit record, click the toggle switch over to hold, and you're good to go. There's a couple of LED indicators on the body which show you your battery levels. Basically, it's good or it's bad. And then the input signal indicator. So some cons in our opinion are, number one, the way to format it is kind of funny. You can't just format it from the recorder itself. You actually have to physically plug it into your computer and open the Zoom app and go and format your card, which isn't a giant deal. I mean, you're already doing that anyways, like you're plugging things in and you're uploading footage or whatever. It's another step to do. So highly suggest making sure your cards are formatted before any shoots, because that's the only way to format it, is having a laptop close by and plugging it in, formatting your card. Kind of a small con, not a giant con, but something that definitely is odd. The only other con, but it's a giant one, and this is kind of the big thing that to us is almost a deal breaker, is the reliability on it. We also do know people that use these recorders and haven't had any issues as far as we've known with it, but the very first time we used this recorder, the audio tracks weren't recording onto the card. So the card was fast enough, everything was good, it was all formatted and ready to go, like you do with everything else. And our tracks that we had recorded, our record light was on, recorded the whole time, shut it off, everything was good, got back, went to plug it into the computer, and there was no audio files on the card. Now, we ended up talking to some friends who also use the recorders, and they said just try and hit record and record another track just to see. We did that, plugged it back in, and sure enough, those audio tracks suddenly showed up on the card, which was very odd. So we've ran into that for about 3 times at the very, very beginning of using it. We've been using it for about a year and a half and no issues since then. Now this is actually my second time trying to record this video on this recorder. The first time I was using the recorder itself to record the audio, and lo and behold, plugged it all in, plugged the footage into the computer as well, and there is no audio file recorded on the recorder. So I tried everything we had done in the past, any sort of workaround that we'd try to make it work, and there was just nothing recorded. Everything indicated on the body, the record light was on. Sometimes as well, if it's like a longer time that it's been recording for, if you hit the record off button to stop recording, it does hang out for a little bit, so I'm assuming it's just writing the file to the card. It did do that, but eventually the record light shut off, indicating that it was done writing, shut the recorder off, and no audio. So is this a deal breaker for the F2? It's tough to say because we don't know anybody else that has had that problem. I mean, for us, it's basically one that we're using on something that's not as important. So for something like a first look, a lot of the time we only are able to mic up the groom. So in a circumstance like that, we're not going to use this recorder. We're just going to use the old reliable Tascam. For something like a ceremony, same thing. Like, we're not going to use this for like a main source of audio, sadly. Now, if any of you guys have ran into that issue with this recorder before, or any other recorder for that matter, and have figured out why that is or work around, and maybe we're just dumb, but let us know if you guys can help us out, and maybe that will change our minds for ordering more of these in the future. That's our honest review on it. We love the recorder, and the quality is stellar that comes out of it. It's way too good, and it has saved our butts a whole bunch of times. You're not supposed to plug these into a DJ feed because those are line out on those, and this recorder requires a mic in on it. The more expensive recorders that are meant to plug into those are actually smart enough to see that signal and adapt themselves and set out all their levels to accept a signal like that. This one is not, so it's mic in only. That being said, we have used it on a number of occasions, plugging into boards just to see what we could get, and we haven't had a bad experience yet. Wouldn't recommend that again as a main source of audio, but if you're able to get like a rec out or something like that out of a DJ board, it sounds really good, even though you're not supposed to, and it doesn't really make sense that it would work, but it has for us. So thanks for checking out the video. If you guys are interested in buying a Zoom F2 or Tascam DR10Ls, we do recommend both of them. We all have the links below if you want to check those out. These are just our thoughts on it and our experience, and just something to keep in mind so you're not surprised in the future, and hopefully save you guys some sort of grief or scariness if this does happen. Maybe we just have a dud, we don't know. And let us know if you have a workaround or if you've ran into this, and also let us know more videos that you guys be interested in seeing. Filmmaking tips, gear reviews, let us know. And until then, if you aren't already, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you later.